66% of parents prefer bilingual education for their children. But here's the problem. True multilingual immersion programs barely exist in America. I'm Nicole Chaudry, and when I moved here from Europe, I faced the same frustration millions of parents face today. I wanted my son to have the multilingual, multicultural education I grew up with, where children become truly fluent while developing a global perspective. That education didn't exist, so over the last decade, I built it. 10 locations later, we've proven something remarkable. When you give parents what they actually want, you create a wait list for your school before you even open. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why this represents one of the most compelling franchise opportunities in early childhood education, and how you can bring this proven model to your community. First, let me show you exactly what parents are telling us, because the data might surprise you. 2 in 3 parents prefer bilingual education over English-only schools. That's not a small niche. That's a supermajority of American families. But here is what I discovered when I started building WorldKids. Parents aren't just looking for language lessons twice a week. They want true immersion where their children live and think in multiple languages while developing genuine cultural awareness. The difference is profound. In language lessons, children learn about Spanish. In immersion, children learn math in Spanish, create art in Mandarin, solve problems in multiple languages simultaneously. And parents are smart to want this. Multilingual workers earn 5 to 20% more throughout their careers. They are 2.5 times more likely to be considered for leadership positions. Demand for bilingual workers has seen meaningful growth, particularly in the remote work sector, which has gone up by 30%. So I had a massive parent demand, proven career advantages, and virtually no direct quality competition. The question was, could I build something that actually delivered on what parents wanted? Here's what 10 years of testing taught me. Building a multilingual immersion program that actually works is harder than most people realize. Most multilingual programs fail because they're essentially English preschools, with a Spanish teacher who visits twice a week. Children might learn to count to 10, but they never become truly bilingual. What we created is different. Not only do our teachers exclusively speak in Spanish or Mandarin, but every month our children travel to a different country. And I mean, everything revolves around that country. The art projects, the music, the food they try, the stories they hear, even the games they play. One month, they're learning about Mexican traditions while practicing math in Spanish. The next month, they're exploring Chinese culture while painting a dragon. And the results speak for themselves. Children who can't even spell their name in English yet are singing songs in Mandarin and learning how to make paper planes in Spanish. Parents come back from family trips telling us their 4-year-old ordered for everyone at the restaurant in Spain, or helped translate for another family at the grocery store. That's when I realized I hadn't just built a successful business. I'd validated a model that actually delivers what parents want. But then the question became, how do you scale something this special without losing what makes it work? Now people have been asking me about franchising for years, literally since my second location opened. But I kept saying no, it wasn't the right time. Friends would ask, can you help me open something like this? Teachers would say, I want to start my own WorldKids. I even helped a couple of friends open their own small schools because the demand was so clear. But here's the thing. I knew that if I was going to franchise WorldKids, I was going to go all in, to give it everything I had. And my son Nigel, who is the one who inspired me to create this whole concept in the first place, only had 2 years left at home before college. So I made the choice to be a present parent first. Because what's the point of building something amazing for other families if you miss your own child's last couple of years at home? But also I used that time strategically. I listened to podcasts about franchising, read books, connected with franchise consultants. I researched the competitive landscape to make sure I had something that was different. Meanwhile, I was perfecting everything, creating procedures, refining curriculum, developing age-specific routines, building hiring systems, enrollment processes, etc. 10 years of sweat equity, testing what worked and what didn't. By the time my son left for college, in the fall of 2024, I had something remarkable. Validated by real students, real parents, real teachers. not theory, proof. And the caliber of people who want to partner with us? Well, that tells you everything. The people who've signed on as our first franchisees, they're exactly the caliber of partners I hope for. Business owners, tech executives, sophisticated investors who've researched every franchise opportunity you can imagine. They've looked at established brands, newer concepts, and different industries entirely. And they all kept coming back to WorldKids because they shared our values and they wanted to become part of our mission. Because when you dig into the numbers and the market opportunity, the case becomes compelling. Here's what 10 years of operations have proven. Our locations that are at least 6,000 square feet in size generate an average of $2 million per year. Plus, we open in as little as 28 weeks versus 17 to 36 months many other companies take. Our 6% royalty rate is below the industry norm of 7%, and unlike competitors requiring nearly $1 million or more in initial investment, we open our schools for much less than you might think. Here's another part I'm excited about. Since we've just started to offer this opportunity to franchisees, those who are joining as early partners won't get lost in a group of hundreds and thousands. They each have a voice that will be heard. In fact, we already started implementing suggestions from our first franchisees. That's the power of being an early stage partner. Plus, when you're one of the first franchisees, you get direct access to me. You're not calling a 1-800 number or working with a regional manager who's juggling hundreds of locations. You text me directly, and we solve challenges together in real time. And here's something else you can't get with an established franchise: access to prime territories. While major brands have already carved up the best markets, we're giving our early franchisees first choice of the most attractive locations. Think about it. The territories that would normally cost millions or be completely unavailable are still open with WorldKids. Ultimately, you're not just buying into a franchise. You're bringing something transformational to your community while joining a carefully selected group of partners who believe in the meaningful difference we make to children's lives while building a profitable business. If you're thinking this sounds like exactly the kind of opportunity you've been looking for, but you want to understand the complete investment picture, I need to show you the detailed breakdown of what it actually costs to bring WorldKids to your community, including how our 28-week timeline can dramatically impact your return on investment. Because in my next video, I'm sharing a complete financial roadmap for opening a WorldKids location, so you can make an informed decision about whether this is right for you and your market. And if you're serious about bringing multilingual education to your community while building significant wealth, subscribe, because I'm documenting the entire franchise journey with complete transparency.